Hello everybody and welcome to the 43rd edition of the Sim Raceway Sunday Race-Off. My name's Liam Jenkins. I'll be calling all of the action for you over the next coming 3 hours or so. And what a few hours it's going to be. We're here at Zandvoort for what's going to be surely an emphatic weekend of racing. It was Firefall who took pole position just a few moments ago, with Wacky Pie second, James 38 in third, and Boss Hog, who just missed out on the session and was unable to set a qualifying time. My name's Liam Jenkins. I'll be calling all of the action for you as it happens right here on the circuit, and we really can't wait for this one to get underway. So we got 3, 4 red lights now, then the revs begin to rise, and we're away. Great start by Firefall. Wacky Pie couldn't get the power down quick enough, and by being 8 tenths off the pace, he needs to do it, and he needs to do it now. James 38 and Boss Hog on the run down to turn 1 though. James maintaining his third position. Boss Hog settles in behind for 4th place, and don't forget, last time we were here with these Formula 3 cars, we saw quite the spectacle. Overtaking was something truly difficult at that corner right there. Turn number 2, we've already seen incidents. James goes wide, tries to cut underneath, and I think he's left it too late and unfortunately loses a position. Boss Hog is able to excel up into 3rd position. Does run a little bit wide, but I'm sure it's nothing that's going to be corrected in just a short moment of time. So coming towards the end of the first sector then, it's still Firefall in the lead of this race with Wacky Pie in second. Boss Hog sits in third, and a big moment. No, it's in the wall. And Boss Hog's race has taken a turn for the worse. We said already that this Zandvoort circuit is renowned for claiming drivers' races, and there goes James 38. He's already got past Boss Hog. He's out of the race. Boss Hog's retired after just a few corners. And his 4-lap sprint has unfortunately not gone down too well for Boss Hog. He's just managed, well, about 4 corners actually, as opposed to 4 laps. As Firefall navigates his way around in this iconic BMW M Pro Kart, truly is a beast underneath the bonnet. Firefall on a keyboard and really doing a good job of keeping that car in composure there as they're going towards the chicane. Careful of those anti-cut strips. Again, we've seen many an incident through there in the past couple of weekends. We've been at Zandvoort Park. It'll be really interesting to see what the other drivers, the other skill quants and the other vehicles can produce a bit later on as Firefall make that look effortless through that right-hander. And as he now rejoins himself back on towards the main straight to complete the first lap of the 4 today, he has a 3.2 second lead as he comes down the main straight. We'll see if it expends when they cross the line. Yeah, so still roughly 3.2 seconds. Or 3.9 as Wacky Pie crosses, so unless there's a dramatic change in wind or the winds of change end up blowing very heavily around the circuit, Firefall may just have this one wrapped up. Wacky Pie is just not able to get the power down. And the thing is as well that Wacky Pie was around a second off in qualifying. If he was going to make a move, it had to be into turn 1. If he could get in front into turn 1, then it'll be a big defensive drive for him. He could get himself into position, hold the inside line. We know how difficult overtaking is at this circuit. If he just got himself into position, he may very well have had a chance of winning this one, but he couldn't quite get the car off the line quick enough. And as a result, Firefall has been able to run away with this race lead right now. And you can see already the smoke coming up from the rear tyres. He's really pushing that car hard right now. We'll see if he can obviously maintain that momentum. It's looking like that at the moment. The gap's already increased by a lot more than we first anticipated. So yeah, 9 seconds. He's actually tripled his race lead in the space of a first sector. That is absolutely ridiculous. So let's see how this race fizzles out then. Right now, it's still looking to me like it could very well be a Firefall victory. Well, it's flying like a fireball at the moment. Wacky Pie still, I think, had a bit of an error. James 38 just 8 seconds away, and we've seen him before, you know. He's not the quickest man on the circuit, but arguably one of the most consistent. And that's why we've seen him take Sunday race-off victories. We've seen him take podiums. And I'm sure we'll see him nonetheless take another one here today in this short opening to the Sim Raceway Sunday Race-Off. And as they come across the line to start the 3rd lap of the day, let's just see the difference as James rounds out his 2nd lap. He's 21 seconds off the race lead. He's only dropped 2 seconds there back to Wacky Pie, and I thought there'd be more than that, and now it is. He goes off back into the barriers. And James has to struggle to get that car out the gravel trap. Unfortunately, a braking error from his time corner sees James 38 just slowly drive off into the gravel. So Wacky Pie still within touching distance, 10 seconds in 2 laps. He needs a heroic couple of laps, but if Firefall makes an error, we're sure he'll be there to capitalise. However, at the moment, it's not looking too promising. It's gone up a further second, 1.6 now the gap, since we last checked that, so 11.6 overall. And now let's just quickly take a ride on board then with Firefall and this. Whoa, he kicked the back end coming out of there, going into the final few corners. That was tremendous to watch. So Firefall trying to get the power down nice and early through the corners, but through Zandvoort in this car, much easier said than done, especially when racing on a keyboard. You've got to be so precise with the movements in this car. Something very difficult to accomplish when you're racing with a keyboard. Firefall, though, not struggling here today. He starts his final lap of the race with an 11.987 seconds lead over Wacky Pie. So into turn 1 he goes, and he's really looking unchallenged now. Another second taken out of Wacky Pie during that last sector alone. He truly is flying down the order right now, and we'll see if he can come home with a victory. A bit of an error there for Firefall though, going through turn number 4. I think he just clipped the grass a little bit. It wasn't much, but however, it was enough.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
Bit wide there as well. Firefall's made an error. That's not what he wants. Is this race within reach? If he makes another error like that, I know there's a saying of taking your foot off the gas a little bit and just letting the race come to you. You don't need to push in his final lap. But maybe that was a bit too much. A lapse of concentration could be costly. That gap has come down by how much we're not sure just yet. 2 seconds he lost. It wasn't anything too daunting, I suppose. He's still got himself a very healthy lead over Wacky Pie. In just 4 laps to eclipse a 12-second lead going into the final lap is something truly remarkable. Into the chicane, bounces over the curb a little there. And let's see what Firefall can do then. Final couple of corners. Is it going to be pole position, led every lap, and the race victory? Bit of a slide through there, but that's not going to matter, because he's on home turf now. He comes across the line, a winner of week number 43 in the Sim Raceway Sunday race-off. Congratulations to Firefall. Second place, and he did catch some in the end, but it wasn't enough. Wacky Pie will be a little bit annoyed perhaps, but a good solid second position there seals the deal. And third place will be James 38 as we wait for our oldest member of the Sim Raceway community to cross the start-finish line. He just got himself a few more corners to go before we call the end of this race. So really not that far to go as James just eases onto the throttle there, not taking any risks at all. Pulls over to the inside and claims third position. And well, that is job done. Signed, sealed, delivered. 3 races. And James 38 is more than happy with that podium finish. So thank you to everyone for watching this short race. We've still got 5 more big races coming up for you tonight, so don't go anywhere, and we'll see you shortly. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sim Raceway Sunday Race-Off for week 43. And today, as we say, we have a very special edition for you where the competitors are driving the 1978 BMW M1 Pro car. And what a challenge it's proven to be already. Victorious is currently taken to the circuit in third position as the drivers look to set their qualifying laps with 8 minutes left to go on the clock. There's about 2 minutes, I'd say, for a qualifying lap, roughly. That's what we judged for in the 500 to 700 skill quant. So you're looking at about a 150 to a 152 will be a reasonable effort. So considering that time with the amount of lap time it's going to take you, including your out lap, you're going to have 2 to 3 attempts, I'd say, at a decent qualifying time. You want one of those to be your banker lap so that, you're pushing reasonably hard, not quite as fast as you could. So just get your car around the circuit, learn the track a little bit, learn your own momentum, and then as soon as you're done, then that's when you push. So as long as you get that banker lap in, it's a decent lap, which is going to get you average start position. That's when you can push on. So currently 4 drivers will be competing in this qualifying session, and obviously the amount of competition, the amount of level of competitors will go up as the night goes on. So we're going to have 5 more races, as we say, for you, including some very special ones later on. And of course, this is technically our first proper YouTube debut here at the Sim Raceway Sunday Race-Off. We had a bit of an issue last time out with my internet not exactly being my bestest of friends, but hopefully we've sorted it all out now and we can deliver you guys an excellent broadcast. So let's see what we can do as we have 6 minutes and 58 seconds left in qualifying, and we're just awaiting the first few qualifying times to come in, and it's probably going to be sooner than we think, as Victorious is going to go across the start-finish line now, and that will end his first attempt. So let's see where he's going to end up and what the benchmark time of the day is. Let's take a look. So he starts his second lap now as a 150.011. So it's between a 150 and a 152. A 151 there for Hamersk and a 151.5 for Master Rocco. So already quite the variation of lap times there. 1.5 seconds separating the top 3 as we await Clark number 10's attempt. So 6 minutes to go. Let's see what Clark can do when he brings his car across the line. He just starts his lap now. I'm guessing there must have been a lap invalidation at some point during that last lap. Otherwise, he would have surely got himself onto the time sheet. So his true pace at the moment is still a bit of a mystery, but the top 3 drivers are all literally on track, separated by about 5 seconds. When it comes to the standings, they're a lot closer. Let's see what's going to happen over the next lap, then see if perhaps it's going to be Hamersk who catches Victorious, because Victorious had a bit of a moment there as they descend into that right-hander, the long sweeping corner that Zandvoort's renowned for. So as Hamersk turns in nicely, he is gaining on Victorious. It wouldn't surprise me in all honesty if we did see Hamersk on pole position. Well, provisionally anyway, he's getting a lot closer. And of course, coming down that back straight, you do have a good, I'd say, 500 metres before you hit the start-finish line. So it's going to be a big opportunity for Hamersk to get himself in the slipstream and maybe just draft out a couple of extra tenths of a second, which in this qualifying session is absolutely vital. And he's gone a bit wide there. Nothing too major, but he did go a bit too deep into the chicane. So the final few corners are bound, and as Victorious navigates his way, let's see if he improves first of all on his time. Oh, it's Master Rocco, I beg your pardon, who's a man in P3 who's actually currently in front of Hamersk. So Hamersk has got himself a bit of an error as Master Rocco looks to try and put one over in. Does he go second, beats it by a tenth? Hamersk can't improve. In fact, he's slower by about 5 tenths overall. 1 tenth on that lap time. Their best lap separated by 1/10 of a second. So now this is getting quite tasty. We've only got ourselves about 4 minutes 25 seconds to go until we call it a day here at the qualifying session. So 3 minutes 51 to go, and then we're going to wait for, well, provisionally see if Victorious rejoins the circuit. Our current provisional pole sitter has not left his garage since he's done that first lap, so he's currently sat there just admiring the session, maybe taking in the landscape views here that Zandvoort has to offer, but In all honesty, I don't think he's that safe. He's only 7/10 clear. And the rate these guys are going, I'll tell you what, Master Rocco is looking very competitive right now as he turns into that chicane. Got the line absolutely perfect early on the oh, he's too deep, but he's barely caught onto that slide, and that could have been disastrous. And considering he's only a 10th away from Hamersk as well, I wonder if Hamersk will be able to leapfrog in this lap round. Master Rocco brings his car across the start-finish line. And does, oh, I'm assuming he's not going to improve. He's 150.5. He did! But Hamersk beats him by a further 2/10. So we did predict right. Damage limitation from Master Rocco. But what must that lap have been if he didn't have that charismatic slide? He could have been easily able to defend that position. And as we go now, as we say, into the final 2 minutes 35, these guys will get one more lap if they need it. So they have the lap they're currently on, and then they will get one more lap, and you can see already exceeding track limits there, so that's not already gone too well there. Let's take a look then. 2 minutes 5 seconds to go. Still 150.011 is your fastest time, a 150.2 second, a 150.5 third, and Clark 10 with a 151.7 rounds out your field and top four for this 700 to 900 skill quad race. So no current improvements. It's still Hamersk who's the man in second position. He's going through the final corner now then, followed of course by Master Rocco. Those guys, if they start where they're currently situated on the grid, then they're going to be a very interesting 6 laps or so. They doesn't improve his time. Master Rocco doesn't either. So this is the lap then. They've got about 1 more minute until the session's drawn to a close. What has Hamersk got up his sleeve? Can he maintain his position? No, he gets a big slide again. Oh, and Master Rocco's done the same. I think they're going to stay the same. Their current positions, I think, will be retained. So let's just try and take a look at what Hamersk is going to do then, because through that chicane right now, and I've got to be saying, he has recuperated, but I don't think there's a chance he'll be able to beat his best time, and Victorious has played it well. He didn't play it safe. He did go out to try and get himself another lap. He didn't cross the line in time. That is his session drawn to a close then. So Hamersk is about to bring his way through the final few corners now then, just waiting to go under that Red Bull little sign there, little tent on the right-hand side. And as he brings his car through, I'll be very, 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 very surprised if he gets his way through. And no, it doesn't beat his time. Neither does Master Rocco. That is your grid then. Unless Clark 10 can find an improvement. However, being 1 second off third place. Nope, that's the end of the session. We'll be right back with you with the race. Okay, so hello everybody and welcome back to this 6-lap race in the Sim Raceway Sunday race-off. And it's going to be one to remember, a very close qualifying session indeed, as we await the arrival of those 4 red lights. We had 3 races in the first one, we've got 4 in the second, and 4 red lights to accompany. And away we go again, a big start by a pole sitter, and look at the amount of ground he's gained, and the ground lost by Hamask. It could be a Schumacher Hakkinen type situation. Indeed, it is into turn 1. Hamask is down to last position after just 1 corner. He's trying to sweep it round the outside there and regain some time, and he's barely managed to hang on. He's got himself into 3rd, but this is what we were fearing. We've said all along, if you've got to make a move in Zandvoort, you have to do it in turn number 1. And that's exactly what... Oh, and Hamask goes wide in an opportunistic move from Clark number 10. He may be a second off the pace, but starts here at Zandvoort are absolutely imperative. And Clark 10 made damn sure of that one. He's got himself up to 3rd position. That was something remarkable there. And now Clark 10 looking to go up the inside of Master Rocco. It's ambitious at that. And, well, unfortunately, that was never going to pay off. He was very lucky to not go wide there, in fact. And Clark 10 starting to struggle now. It's seeming like he's got no grip at all underneath him in that car. And let's see what he can do. He's going to have to struggle to try and hold that car on and be able to not really surrender any positions. We'll see as we say. Oh no, he has gone wide and that has lost him time. He's down to P4. But this is what we were talking about earlier. If Hamask and Master Rocco are as close as they are in qualifying as they are on the circuit right now, we're going to have a very entertaining race on our hands, considering they're only both about 0.5 of a second away from victorious. So let's wait and see how this pans out. So coming towards the end of lap number 1 then, and it's looking to me like Victorious has definitely got the advantage as they go through the final right-hand kink. 1 down, 5 to go, and wide there for Master Rocco. And wow, he's making that look like rallycross. I know this car's got a historic look to it from 1979, but well, you might want to keep an eye on that one. And now here comes a counter-attack. Hansik trying to get on the inside. Hamask is a delightful manoeuvre. He's gone wide. Very well read there by Master Rocco, and it's all gone wrong. Clark 10 is able to recuperate that one nicely. His race moving back in the right direction. He goes up into 3rd position. Oh, and again, a big moment for Clark 10. Everyone struggles at that corner, coming out of turn number 2, through number 3. The sharp descent, the difficult angle, all adds up to Hamask struggling. As he goes through there, he's lost a lot of time now. The race escaping him. As is our race leader at the very front of the field, as Master Rocco is now 2.4 seconds away from our race leader. Clark 10 looks to the inside again. Bit of a nudge. Oh, it's a lot of a nudge. He's gone off there, and that's his own fault. Overly ambitious, overly aggressive. And, well, I think the consequence was nothing short of deserving, unfortunately. And he goes a little bit wibbly there. Able to just get the car going nice around the outside. He's struggling to hold on. And he's gone a bit wide. And, unfortunately, Hamask has done the same. Hamask in the wall. And what has happened to poor Hamask? He's done everything he can today to get this race going in the right direction. And every time he makes progress, he unfortunately ends up taking a step back. It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. And Hamask is really left wondering what else he can do with it today. What else does he have to do to try and win this race? So Master Rocco there, P2 at the moment, 3.4 away. He's got some alleviated pressure as Clark 10 drops back in P3 after another mistake. Hamask still sat in 4th position now, 11 seconds after just 2 laps away from victorious now. So his race really has taken a turn for the West. And, well, he's struggling at the moment. We'll see if he can, again, pull something back a little later on. But I think for now, in all honesty, well, he's going to be in a very unenviable situation. So the battles tend to come and slow down a bit now. Master Rocco is trying to take some time out of our race leader. The gap is only 3.2 seconds. And as we say, he's got himself a nice solid barrier of 3.3 seconds back to Clark number 10. It wouldn't surprise me if Master Rocco can just slowly start reeling him in. Zandvoort is one of those circuits, as we've said, where errors are a crucial part. It's not just about getting yourself in a good overtaking position. It's not about making your moves. It's about keeping your car on the circuit, and that is exactly what he's trying to do right now. So there goes Clark 10, and Master Rocco's made an error as well. I was taking a look at Victorious, and I take a look back, and now Clark 10's back in second. Hamerski's only a few seconds back now. He's around 5 seconds away from Master Rocco, 6 from Clark 10. I'm sure that will update as soon as we hit towards the end of lap number 3 of 6. So we're almost at the halfway stage of this race right now. And as Clark 10 descends in towards the final few corners, I'll tell you what, Clark 10, yes, he has been overly aggressive in the first bit of the race. Yes, he has made some, well, not so much silly, but avoidable collisions, and he could have played them out maybe with a little bit more thought. But I've seen a lot of promise from this young man, and this is what Skill Quant is all about. It's about finding this youth talent and essentially just getting them through the series, you know. If you enter a Sunday race off, you want your Skill Quant to race. You want to get in those big events with the more talented drivers. The big spotlight are on those last couple of races, and that is where Clark wants to be. And I'm honestly quite impressed. He hasn't backed down. Yes, he's made a few errors, and you know, we've seen drivers in the past, they make one error, they won right at the start of the race, and next thing you know, bang, they disconnect, and that's it. Not for this man. Clark 10 has fought and fought and fought, finally got his way into second position, and is now just 4 seconds away from Victorious with a 2-second barrier back to Master Rocco. So very impressed with Clark's performances today. It could, as we said, improve, and, you know, just iron out those errors. It's still early days yet for him. But as we approach the start of lap number 5 in the next couple of moments, my impressions of Clark 10's driving today has been very positive, despite the few negatives maybe overshadowing it. 2.9. Has Victorious made an error? I think he may have done 2.9 seconds. Either that, or Clark 10 has suddenly turned into Clark Kent because he's Superman right now. And I unintentionally made a pun there with Clark and Clark Kent. So I'm quite happy with that one, as Clark 10 really does start to reel him in. 2.3, another 7 tenths now have gone, and they've just simply disappeared. And there's nothing, he's left scratching his head as to what he can do. As they come towards the end of lap number 4, 2 more laps to go then around the Zandvoort circuit. Across the line, let's see what the gap is. 1.7. This is heating up nicely, I'm telling you now. Another error, I think, for Hamerski at the back. He's 8 seconds back now, so unfortunately that has not played out too well for him. And let's take a look at Victorious now. He's coming under pressure. This is for the lead. I was seeing what Hamerski was doing. And they're still side by side. And Clark 10, with another big manoeuvre, is into the lead and escaped. And now just take a look at Victorious. He's slipping. He's made an error again. Victorious, who had this race firmly under control, is losing time, and he's losing it rapidly. The battle for third is on. We've been anticipating a battle involving Master Rocco all day. The majority of us... Oh, and a big collision. The majority of us thought the main battle with Master would come from Hamerski, who's, well, frankly disappeared out of the picture for this race. It's now between Victorious and Master Rocco, and not many people would have predicted at the start of this race that Clark 10 would be in the lead heading into lap number 6. A truly outstanding performance from him so far today. We'll see if he can improve further, as we say, as we go in towards his final lap. Bump over the chicane there. Victorious, a little bit of an error, went a bit too deep, I think, over those anti-cuts. Oh, and Master Rocco with a big slide, and he was guilty of that in qualifying as well.
This is the final lap. Keep it going.
And so into the final lap then, and the gap has sort of deteriorated, and it's going to be a big push from Master Rocco if he wants to take that second position. I think Victorious may just have his number there and be able to clench second position. He started from pole, and he's just simply been unable to make the most of that opportunity. He's had a couple of silly errors, which Clark 10's really ran away with. You know, he's taken no prisoners. He's pushed his way from the back of the field. A really exciting race for him, and you know, in a race where overtaking has not been key, again, it's been the case of mistakes, but Clark 10 has just pushed his way from the very back of the field to the front of it. He's leading the race. He's overtaken every driver. He's had a couple of silly errors, as we've said. You know, he's made a bit of contact here and there, turning into a bit of touring car racing like we're used to seeing in the Evos, that which you can see a little bit later on tonight's stream. But overall, I've got to say, I'm remarkably impressed with Clark 10, and give it a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you could see him in a slightly higher skill quant. Hamask is just within reach of Master Rocco. If Master catches Victorious and the two come together, Hamask will have a chance. But at this stage, I think 3 seconds in just half a lap is not going to cut it. He's not going to be able to turn that race around. But Clark 10 is one man who has turned his race around. You may as well call him Clark Kent, because he is Superman at the end of today's Sunday race-off. He crosses the line, a winner, and he'll be so delighted with that. A great performance. Victorious is going to hold on to P2 despite a very troubled, very challenging race and effort there from him. Master Rocco will finish just 2.0 seconds behind him in second, and Hamask will finish across the line in P4. That's all from us. We'll be back very shortly with the third race of the evening. Don't go anywhere. In P4. And wide there for Master Rocco. And wow, he's making that look like rallycross. I know this car's got a historic look to it from 1979, but well, you might want to keep Hello everybody and welcome back live to the Sim Raceway Sunday race-off where the final 3.5 minutes of qualifying are getting underway. We've got 8 races in this session with Currently Garns taking provisional pole position at 148.402. Devil Bevan sits second with a 148.463. Hellwood in third at 148.7. 149.92 from Andy Bob. Flower 89 with a 149.4. Brocklanders sits in P6 with a 150. And from then on, it's WTTNN and Damien Black, who still had to set a time all the way down in 8th position. So let's see how this qualifying session shapes up with just a few minutes left to go. So to say, approximately, you're looking at about a 150 per lap now. The higher the divisions get, the quicker the laps go, coincidentally, which means that each and every time you're looking for that extra second or two to set you in front of your competitors. So let's wait and see what Ingarns can do from here then. He's currently got himself quite a wealthy lead at the very front of the field with a second back to P5, but the man just behind him, Devil Bevan, is only a matter of 600ths of a second, so not that far at all. He needs to be a lot closer if he wants to do that. And as Devil Bevan gets ever closer, and just he's done that, he's off. He's into turn 1 and he's off. And I think that's it. He's crashed way too late in this session. He's trying to go back out. 149 left. He won't get back round in time. There's no possible way he will do it. And that is session over for Devil Bevan. Luckily, he's 2/10 clear of Hellwood, but 600ths of a second off of a pole position. And he just pushes a little bit too hard and he ends up in a gravel trap. Unfortunately for him, that's very much so a qualifying session which has ended. But we'll see what he can produce now though, as the session's still drawing on. We've still got a little bit left, so we'll see if Ingarns can capitalise on it. He will get one more lap as he crosses the line now. Will he improve his current one? No, he doesn't. But as he heads in towards turn number 1, he's got himself, as we say, 3 point... Oh, he did improve by a lot. 3.8 tenths, and now surely this is all but over. It's going to be Ingarns who takes the pole position by quite some margin, and that is an authority. Bit further down the field, let's take a look at some of the battles which are shaping up. We've only got Brocklanders there, who's currently about a 10th of a second off. He's back in the pit lane, could not find any more time in that session. The rest of the drivers are out except for Hellwood, who's in the pit lane, giving Andy Bob a chance to find about half a second to get himself into P3. And he's gone wide as well, so Andy Bob is suffering a lot of drivers today making errors. This is going to be an entertaining race, that's for sure. 8 laps of the Zandvoort circuit, and really you're looking at what could be a very, very tense race for some of these drivers, filled with possible errors and chances of inconsistency. So, Ingarns back to the pit lane, Devil Bevan back, Hellwood back, WTTNN is still on the circuit, a chance to maybe get himself into third. I don't think he'll be able to find 4/10 of a second this time round though. Andy Bob isn't that far away, 400th of a second, so he is close. Is it close enough for a victory, or at least to get himself a bit further up the field before going into the race? I don't think so, but however, 400th of a second off WTTNN, the slightest improvement could see him rocket up the field, just that extra position to start him on the inside line. And as Andy Bob crosses the line, oh, WTTNN pips him, he does it! He gets up to P5, Andy Bob goes down, so it's now Florin that's 3/10 up. Andy Bob finishes the session, Brocklanders can do a time. And apart from one man who's WTTN, I think that's going to be it. Let's see what he can do as he comes across this start-finish line then. It needs to be a big time, unfortunately. Can he get it done? He needs 3/10 now. No, he can't. That's session over. We'll be right back with you for the race. Okay, so we're back then for the stream of this Sim Raceway event. It's going to be a very thrilling race, I think, to say the least. We've got 9 seconds left until those red lights illuminate, and then we'll get this 8-lap race underway. So the question is, who will be the man standing tall when the checkered flag flies? So we've got 4 red lights now. The reds start to rise, and a slow start from WTTN, and that time that was the one I did realise. Seeming to be one man struggling all the way, and look at that. Oh, it's contact already. And a car in the wall, I think that may have been Brock Landers as they stream their way into tow. Oh, big contact! And WTCN goes flying off into the gravel trap. Absolutely distraught at this stage in the race. As the races get longer, the chances of recuperating after a bad error always increase. But I think right now you've got to wonder it's going to be a lot to get yourself back in that sort of thing. Let's just see what can happen here then. As you can see, Damien Black is not really happy with that. He's had a bit of an error. He's let WTTN back through, but a bit further up the field, Flower 89 is struggling as well. So the field's separating out already, so there is a restart coming due to the majority vote. This race will get a full restart. "24 seconds to go then until we do get this race finally back underway again, and unfortunately it almost could have been a very, very incident-filled race from the get-go.
Here we go. Watch the lights.
So now we await the lights. We've got just a couple of seconds to go again. He'll get off the line quicker this time. We are missing the man in 3rd place, who is Hellwood. He just got there in time, but he didn't get off the line. It's a very slow start, and the field's bunched up again, and off goes WTTN again. He's struggled, and now he's had possibly a worse start than before as the field head into turn number 1. However, the rest of it's been a very much a contact-free zone. We've got some side-by-side action there with Andy Bob and Damien Black as they navigate their way in towards turn number 2. And look at that, they're almost 3 wide, and that's not a corner you need to be there either. Flower 89 trying to hang on to the car around the outside. Oh, On a bit of a swerve there as well, and his driver's really struggling, and there's the result. Damien Black again in the wars today. He's trying to hang on. There's 2 cars in the gravel. There was no contract between either of them. That was just 2 individual incidents, I think. But back at the front of the field, though, it's been a very different story for Hingant. He's had a great run so far. With Devil Bevin lasting quite well in P2, Flower and 89 following those guys very closely. And the field streaming towards that chicane. You can see already there a big moment for Hell with Damien Black trying to hang on to it. He's already got himself a drive-through, and understandably for the contact which he was involved in. Nganj comes towards the end of the first of the 8 laps then, so an 8th of the way through. 1.2 seconds in front of Devil Bevin right now. 3rd place is Flower and 89. 4th place Brocklanders. 5th Hellwood, and the fields are relatively close together as Damien Black pulls into the pits. Andy Bob in 8th, and WTTNN still, well, somehow getting towards the end of the last few corners of his first lap. He's 31 seconds away from the lead. Still going though, obviously racing, it never ends till the checkered flag falls, and with 8 laps, he does have a chance to get himself a bit further forward. But even so, I think at this stage, it's been a very disruptive race for him. He hasn't exactly had it all his own way. In fact, anything but. But Nganj is leading. We've got Devil Bevin trying to stalk him down there in P2 at the moment, with Flower and 89 holding on in P3, a further 1.5 seconds behind. And there you can see just exactly the amount of time there that Hellwood's actually bringing in as Brock Landers goes a bit wide there from P4. And that's going to cost him some valuable time. He's tried to come out deep, and I think if anything, that may have caused a bit of an incident. We'll see if he can bring into the chicane. Goes a bit too deep. Yes, he does. And a big moment there as Hellwood tries to go back through. He's on the outside. Oh, and he's lost the back end. Hellwood is really struggling to climb into the back of Brock. I mean, Brock has had a very troubled lap, trying to keep himself out of trouble. The car control's not quite been there. But it's a start lap number 3. Now Hellwood launches the assault package. Can he look to the inside? Yes, he does. Oh, he's got such a better run. That is ridiculous, the amount of top speed he has going down that straight. Up the inside he goes. Andy Bob trying to swing it round. Oh, he's defended that beautifully. And still out, Hellwood is left struggling, wondering what to do with himself. Let's just wait and see what happens. And this has been the most exciting fight on the racetrack we've seen all race so far. And he's gone a bit wide there again. Brock making a mistake, and he's caught the grass. And that's the result. The tiniest zone. They're both spun the same corner. One on the outside line, one on the inside line. That is absolutely incredible. Andy Bob says thank you very much. Gets 2 for the price of 1. Buy one, get one free at your local supermarket. Andy Bob has just flown through with ease, and as has Damien Black. Both cars resumed their normal race, but that has got to have a couple of head scratching. That was truly remarkable. It was like someone just spilled oil all over the tarmac and both cars just lost control. That is not something you see very often. Yes, that corner is one of the prime suspects when it comes to incidents here, but in all honesty, that shouldn't have happened. We'll wait and see though if anything can move on, as these guys try to get their races back underway once again. But I think after that they'll just be a bit puzzled, and both of them might be even thinking they're quite lucky, because when it comes to it, it's not very often if you make a mistake, the car you're chasing or getting chased by will do exactly the same. So in that aspect, they're both quite lucky. So back at the front of the field then, since we've had our attention drawn all the way to the rear end, we're approaching half race distance now, and it's been a good race so far by Ngannou, our pole sitter. The race did get restarted earlier on, but that's not to be worried about. Ngannou's done a very nice job at keeping himself at the front of the field. He's not let that get to him, and he's got himself a whopping 2-second lead. Although it has come down slightly there, so 1.75 that time round, but nonetheless, he's got himself in a very comfortable position. Just taking a quick bit of a look up there for Flower89 as I was just scanning down the field to see if there were any incidents. And out of the 8 runners, we've still got all 8 remaining. One man to maybe reflect on there is WTTN1. Now, if you remember earlier on, he was actually clipped as soon as he got off the line, really. There was, well, he didn't really have a chance to move, did he? He was bombarded as soon as he got off the line. It was due to a late starting Hellwood. He didn't quite get on the grid in time, and just as he appeared, as the clock struck 0 and the red lights began to illuminate, he didn't get the throttle down early enough, and as a result could not get off the line. However, he is there today, he's still going, but it was WTTN1 who did get the brunt of the impact. So halfway around lap 5 currently is Ngannou. We've got Devil Bevan, as we say, who's still following him 2.6, just waiting and waiting for an error, trying to scout him down and see what he can do. And Ngannou so far has not put a single foot wrong. He's done a great thing, which a lot of drivers are struggling to do, especially with this BMW vehicle. It's a very tricky car to drive, and as with many cars from that era of racing, not a lot of grip under there. And when you take that with a circuit, which last time out we raced the Formula 3s there, it's a very difficult circuit combo to try and get your head round. It requires a lot of grip, a lot of concentration, and a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I suppose it's just a lot of consideration before you go into the corners, because it will throw you off. There's a lot of elevation changes around here, a lot of bumps and grinds on the circuit, a lot of tarmac out there, which shouldn't really play a factor, but it does if you get one wheel on that grass through this corner, which Devil Bevan's just accelerating through now. You are going to see yourself flying wide. Well, possibly, no matter what line you take, as we saw. So, fingers crossed we don't see too much more of that. But it is a difficult circuit combo to get your head round. The car is suited to more kind of like circuits I'd refer to, like Spa-Francorchamps, circuits like that, where it can really get the power down nice and early. It can get to its top speed without decelerating into a nice slow corner and losing the back end. That is where circuits like Spa come in. But when you've got Zandvoort and a circuit car combo which could really make the best of strategists scratch their heads in confusion, then we're really going to see an evening of entertaining racing. So a great choice by our race administrator for that. Ngannou still just 3 seconds exactly clear of Devil Bevan at this stage, as we have just 3 more laps left to go until the checkered flag falls. We've got Florin89 still 5 seconds, Andy Bob 20 seconds back, then Damien Black, Hellwood, TTNN, and we've got Brock Landers as well. I think WTTNN's made another error, or Brock Landers has. Those guys separated currently by just 2.6 seconds. And into turn 1 they go. They start at number 6 out of 8. And right now, looks to me like Brock Landers is actually reading in WTTNN. Let's keep an eye on that battle as it progresses. And Damien Black still trying to catch Andy Bob at the moment. The gap's still 3.5 seconds. It hasn't exactly changed. since we've taken a quick look, but Devil Bevin 2.4, that's come down. As they cross the start-finish line to start the penultimate lap of the race, then it's still Ngannou that leads 2.2. A further 2/10 have been decreased and really eked out of Ngannou's lead, and as Devil Bevin again swings around turn number 1. No more battles on the circuit at the moment, except for the Brock and WTTNN. Now, the last time we checked up, they were getting closer. Let's take a look now, separated by merely a second. And Brock Landers right now is getting very, very, dangerously close to WTTNN. But we've already seen here today that catching's one thing, passing is another, as the words were once famously spoken. They start their lap now then. Let's see what Brock can do. Will he assault turn 1? It seems to be the favoured overtaking spot of every driver here today. And he's tried to go out the inside. Very late braking by WTTNN to not go too wide. Great defensive driving if he can cut back across, and he'll retain the inside line for turn number 2. Very smart there by WTTNN, and Brock Landers is left again. Quite clueless as he tries to scratch his head and work out why he can't push his way through. Bit of a lock up there for WTTNN, and look how close they were. Was that a tap? I think there may have been the slightest of touches there. However, both drivers came out unscathed. It wasn't intentional, to say the least. Brock had to lift though, carried way too much throttle, and that is the result of being in the draft. Dirty air plus more speed equals a slidier car, and it really does feel like you're driving on grease. And Brock Landers trying to go to the inside. Oh, he's lost it! He's lost it! And just like that, now I'm not too sure if that was an advanced downshift, but as soon as he stopped, it was in reverse. Did he downshift one too many and go into neutral? It's a very likely outcome. We've seen it happen before. The downshift, the revs go through the roof, the tyres don't know what to do, the whole car spins out. Very easy error. We'll bring you updates as soon as they come in, but even so, Brock Landers, just as he was making ground on the penultimate lap of the race, has lost it all. Damien Black still in P4, Andy Bob in P5, Howard still 6th position as we're midway through the final lap of the race then. As Ngannou now goes straight through, he's looking like he's not going to be challenged. The gap did come down to 2.2 seconds the other lap. But Devil Bevin, unfortunately, unable to keep up with the sheer pace of Ngannou today. And Ngannou just, 2.7 seconds he's got it back up to. He's gained half a second this lap alone. And at this stage in the race, he's only got himself a couple of corners to go until he's crowned another winner from pole position. So through the final corner comes Ngannou, and what has he done today? I'll tell you what he's done. Pole position, all laps led, and a victory. The second driver tonight to do it. Ngannou wins in absolute style. Second place Devil Bevin, he'll be happy with that one after a very chaotic race to say the least. Third place was Flaren89, good job there for him. Fourth place will be Damien Black, providing he can just keep his car in front of Andy Bob for these final couple of seconds in corners. He hits the main straight now, that's pretty much a given. Howard will stay in P6, WTTNN 7th, with Brock Landers, who's going to presumably cross the line in 8th position, unless there is a dramatic turn of events. There you go, so Howard crosses the line 6th, which means WTTNN will be 7th, and Brock Landers will be 8th. So that's it from us here at Sim Raceway. Please tune in. Don't forget, we've got the Formula 3 cars hitting Zandvoort. And last time they were out, it really was some entertaining racing. So you don't want to miss that. So be sure to tune in just a few moments' time for the next race.